Hello. I'm kind of sad to leave the chat because it's fun to have to present to you, but I'm also not sad because I'm really excited. Thank you for coming to this workshop. I'm going to put you to work, and I think it's going to be fun. I think you're going to leave. If you weren't already excited about what you're going to do in 2025 on Mighty, you're going to leave with a plan, the beginnings of a plan. So, what I'm going to ask you to do, and we're going to put in the chat, is pull up our People Magic GPT. You're going to have to make me a little smaller, get it up there. If you're on a phone, if you can't do it right now, that's okay. Some of you, will have to come back to the recording and do it, but pull it up. Kyle is sharing the link, and it's all going to make sense in a moment. Okay. Sharing my screen. Hi, Sonia. Love you too. Okay, you guys can see. Great. So, first, let's just all take a minute to think about what the best co-hosts do. Maybe you've had a co-host for a party you threw. Maybe you were working on a big event or program at work with somebody. This is not the bad person in the group project. This is the best person in the group project. Think about what they do. And three things came to mind when I thought about this. One is they push you to get started. Maybe they start organizing things for you. Maybe they give you a first draft. They're just kind of getting you off your butt and getting moving. They help you dream bigger. I think this is one of the key things. It's not just about executing what you have in your head. A real co-host is your partner in saying, oh yeah, that's a great idea, but what if we did this? Or maybe we could be more creative in this way, right? And then finally, the elite co-hosts are going to suggest the next right step. So you're getting excited, you're dreaming bigger, and they're like, okay, so if we want to do that, maybe we should do this. Maybe we should talk about this next, and kind of keeping you moving along. Does that resonate with people about what a really good co-host can do? Angela is in. Ariel is in. Great. Great news. You have a co-host. It is our People Magic GPT, which hopefully you have pulled up in another tab, in a side-by-side window, however you want to do it. And as part of this live session, we're going to go through the GPT together. But here's what you need to know, okay? This is not just somebody who is at a baseline level. This is a GPT that has been fed, that has been primed on our viral masterclass, People Magic Profit, on all Mighty's Help Center documentation, on all our tidbits about community design, on every single podcast episode that Gina has done. And it's been fed a lot of wins and examples from our own hosts. And yes, this is our stuff. We have fed it our stuff. This is like having Gina and Kyle and me and Topher and DJ hanging out with you all day long. Okay, so this is your super powered co-host. Are you with me? I think you're with me. And because we have trained it on all of this stuff, and by the way, we train it regularly. So we're launching things like streaks. It learns about streaks. We're launching all those Mighty Funnels stuff. Guess what? It's going to learn about Mighty Funnels. And so what can it do? It can help you plan out your entire year for your community in a way that is shifting your thinking, not from okay, I'm going to create 45,000 pieces of content this year, but how can I plan to make more connections between my members throughout the year? And I know a lot of the pro hosts we talked to, Jefferson, Hadar, Tiffany, mentioned this shift from content to connection. Give you killer engagement ideas. Just keep that drum beat going. and help you nail the first experience. A first experience that feels magical. We love the word magic here. Feels magical and is not about rules and guidelines and go here and do that, but about, hey, this is what we're doing together. These are the results we're going to see together. And inspire you and help you find 30 members in 30 days. Sound pretty good? Sound like a co-host you kind of want to have around? I think so. How do I feel so confident in this? Well, not my first rodeo. We teach a course called People Magic Prompts. I have taught it. Maya has taught it with me, who you will meet in the 14-day challenge. And we have done all those things together by giving you specific prompts you can use to have a conversation with your co-host and take everything from People Magic Profit and apply it to your exact situation. Okay? We run this course, we run it live, and then it's available for you to move through. It's $350. And people like it. Game changer, actionable advice, shifted my strategy, got me using all the features. People are a fan of the course, which is called People Magic Prompts. Okay? Here is the mega exciting stuff. For your $199 annual community plan, yes, you get the 14-day challenge. Yes, you get these awesome books. And you also get People Magic Prompts. Okay, so what I'm going to take you through today is a little preview of the full course. It's a 10-session course. Not going to try to squeeze 10 hours into this workshop. Even I can't talk that fast. But it's just another reason for you to realize you have everything you need. You have all the resources, all the guidance to make it happen this year. So today is a workshop, okay? Pull up the People Magic GPT. We got the link pinned in the chat and we're sharing it. Input prompts live related to People Magic Profit. Now you might fall a little behind, I can't sync to everybody, but this is just to kind of train you on how to use it and what it can do for you, how it can help you, okay? We're getting our hands dirty. If you are on a free version of ChatGPT, they do limit you in how many prompts you can do a day, but I think we'll be well within that limit. And you're going to get a basic plan you can build on. Now, one of the best things about a co-host is that it's going to ask you a question at the end of every response, like, hey, do you want to do this? Do you want to do that? So if you go off on your own journey, if you get into AI flow, I'm not offended. I will have more prompts for you to use. But if you get into it with your co-host, great. We love that. That's the idea. You want you to get comfortable with using it. Kelly says in the chat, I talk to her all the time. She's helped me plan out my year, my monthly topics, and she answers my questions when I get stumped. Love it. And Kelly has gendered her People Magic co-host. Great. And then you're going to be really excited to dive into all the prompts post summit, because when you're in the challenge on our community plan, you're going to get People Magic Prompts for free. Sound good? Everybody ready to go with our first prompt? I'm going to try to slow it down to give you time to type. I'm a very fast typer, but you'll get in a rhythm. And Gina says, yes, everything from the summit will be added. If you miss a prompt, if you go into the flow state and you pop back up and I'm talking about something different, don't stress. You will have all of this that you can come back to again and again and again. Okay, so your ideal member, we are starting here. And the ideal member is who you serve. And there's a really easy formula for it. Okay, it's a human who is in transition. And this might be a little bit different. Has anybody heard about, you got to niche down? Have to niche down? Very commonly said, and it's missing this really critical piece of in transition, because transitions are incredibly powerful. When people are in a transition, they're the most motivated to meet others, and they're the most comfortable paying for something because they know where they are, and they know where they want to go. They can see that progress. Oh, yeah, if I could only get to that. And so they recognize the value of a course membership community that can help them get there. And what's more, because they're investing in it, that energy and result, it's going to attract other people over time. I was reflecting on this and thinking about all the times I've been to a party, an event, and I see people I haven't seen in a while. And I'm like, whoa, they look different. They have this glow about them. Every time I go up to them and I'm like, yo, I haven't seen you in a while. What's new? They're always working through a transition, right? They're like, I got a new job, or I met somebody. It's going really well. Here's what we're doing. I'm starting a family. I'm planning to quit my job and travel. They are in that transition. That energy is attractive, and you can leverage that for People Magic for viral growth. So here's our first prompt. Could not be simpler. Give me 3 transitions to think about for my topic. Your topic could be yoga, could be entrepreneurship, could be postpartum health, could be relationships. You can start broad here and then just refine and refine and refine. So this is your first prompt. You typing it in, getting there. And remember, we have fed the People Magic GPT with all of People Magic Profit, with all of Gina's podcasts. It knows what a transition is, right? It is going to guide you. You can have confidence. It's not just pulling random stuff. It speaks the language of People Magic that you're going to learn to speak very well. Okay. And then again, refine it. So I like this one? Maybe it gave you 3. You like number 2. I love number 2. Make it even more specific. Then you can start to niche down and add more color and details, but you really want to nail that transition first. Emily says, I had no idea that's what this was. Boom. Awesome. This is the feeling I want to have during this session. As you go deeper, when you're in the class, you'll get more prompts around this, right? How to interview your ideal members, take those transcripts, make a persona, ideas on where to find that ideal member in real life, online. And, we have our bonus. If you do that $199 community plan, you're going to get extra custom fields. We talked about that with Tom. You can use the People Magic GPT to say, hey, what should I do with my 5 custom fields? What are the connection points I want to create with my members? All right, so this is how we're going to move through this workshop. I'm going to give you a section of People Magic Profit. We're going to talk about one prompt. It's hard for me because I have a lot of prompts I want to share with you. But I got an hour. Talk about one prompt, and then we're going to keep going and tell you more of what you could do, but we're really going to try to get you through so you have a whole plan by the end of this. So let's go to best year ever. This is about the results people are going to get when they join your community. Again, we love a simple formula. It's the results, memorable specifics, memorable specifics. And the reason why you want to be expansive and detailed and really think about what would the best year ever be is because people in transition are looking for inspiration and aspiration, right? They want to change. They want to make progress. You want to set the bar high so that they feel moved and they're like, yes, like, how did you know? That would be my best year ever. And I love, love, love the People Magic GPT for this because I consider myself a creative person, but sometimes creative writing, it's hard to really imagine and go bigger. But that thing about a co-host helping you dream bigger, this is the perfect example. With these prompts, you can really tell a story. So here's your prompt. Now you have your ideal member, right? I run a community for this person in transition. And start basic. In a year, maybe we want to add a result like we want to feel healthier. We want to have more confidence. You can just be a little basic here and prompt the GPT to really expand on it. What are the experiences they've had? What can they do a year after joining that they can't do today? How do they feel? What's their name? Really tell a story here. And I think the more you fall in love with your ideal member, we say that all the time, you have to fall in love with your ideal member. You naturally, too, will start to attract people who see that in you, right? You just understand them. They feel seen. When people feel seen, they want to spend more time with you. They want to be around you. It pays dividends to really understand this person. And there's more prompts you can do. Day in the life story, turn my best year ever into a benefit list that you might want to put on your landing page and your messaging, which we'll talk about. And all sorts of ways you could tell a story of this best year ever. Okay, we're moving along. My slides want to move, so I guess I got to move. The big purpose. What do you think is going to be on this slide? It's going to be another formula. Your big purpose is your ideal member, the best year ever. That's it. And what your big purpose is, it's your motivation for this community, right? Why are you bringing people together? And also your pitch. It's this basic, baseline, foundational. This is who we bring together so that we can do this. Dana says, I can't type that fast. Dana, I'll try to slow down. You'll have the recording. You'll have the slides. We'll get back here. Don't worry. And this is what your big purpose looks like. We bring together so that we can bring together somebody in transition, your ideal member, so that we can have the best year ever together with those memorable specifics. Tessie says, very cool. I just got it to give me the perfect purpose. Yes, starting with something that has been trained on this philosophy is going to get you there much, much faster, which is why we did this. So here is your prompt. Very, very simple. Very, very simple. Craft a big purpose that will attract and inspire my ideal members. You're priming it with like, this is who the ideal member is. This is the best year ever. If you're in conversation, it's going to remember what you talked about 2 seconds ago. Don't worry about that. I want to make sure my ideal member can picture the progress they'll achieve. Give me 3 options to choose from. You can ask for as many options as you want. This is your 24/7 unpaid intern. No labor laws being broken. Don't even have to buy a coffee. But start with 3 so you're not overwhelmed, right? And then you pick the one you like and you refine it. I think somebody asked, how do you get it to speak in your voice? You tell it. You're like, oh, I love number 3. And then think about, I would never say that though. Can it be a little more academic, a little funnier? Can it feel more personal, more casual, more formal? You tell it, feedback, and it's going to come back to you. Does that make sense? You are training it as you're talking to it. Okay. And then your big purpose, it's your pitch, right? So more prompts, how to translate it into marketing, how to make it feel natural where you feel comfortable saying it when you bump into somebody in an elevator or is it escalator or elevator? I can never remember. Either way, your escalator elevator pitch. So just imagery that aligns with your big purpose, right? If you're doing this without a graphic designer, which you totally can, we have templates, we have lots of help there. You might need, okay, how do I bring this to life with imagery? Ask the People Magic GPT using your big purpose and then incorporating the big purpose into your social bios. You're proud of this, you're doing it. Put it on your Twitter bio, put it in your LinkedIn bio. How do you talk about it everywhere and really put it out there? Okay. So we have our foundational things. We're moving right along. Hopefully everybody's staying with me. We have the foundation, the strategy of who we serve, what we're going to do together, and how we pitch it, our big purpose. Now, let's talk about what we are doing in that community that we have just spent $199 to build on Mighty Networks. And this is your community design plan. So this is giving you the year, the editorial calendar for your community. But here is the thing. If you are like me, if you're in marketing, you hear the words editorial calendar, you break out in full body hives because you're thinking, oh my God, all of the things I need to put everywhere and post 25 times a day. No, this is a calendar that's focused on connection, not content. This is giving you a roadmap for the year of ways you can bring people together. Okay, so just a different framing. It keeps things novel and interesting. I think Hadar said this, where she's using things like monthly themes, which we'll talk about, to, you're moving towards the same result over the year, but every month there's just something fresh that people are excited to show up for. So we'll talk about that. And you're going to plan it in 1 to 2 hours. I mean, actually, you're going to get a basic plan in this session, but then I think you'll be able to refine it very, very quickly. And I want to call out a couple people who are like, whoa, this tool is powerful. I'm lost. I need a little bit more help. You will have this replay, and we will talk a lot about this in the 14-day challenge. And you have a whole course that you can use that will go through this. So it's a little taste, but you will get there. So your community design plan has 3 elements: monthly themes, weekly calendar, and daily polls and questions. Okay, you have those 3 things. You're gonna have a community design plan. Right? And this is what that will look like. I haven't filled it in yet, but you can see we have the ideal member at the top. Okay. For this example, we're talking about a community where the ideal member is an amateur runner who wants to run an ultra marathon. That's like 100 plus mile race. That's a lot. That's quite the transition. And their best year ever is they start out, never run an ultra marathon. I feel like I'm in a running mindset rut. And then they complete their first ultra and have a new level of confidence, clarity, and peace. That sounds awesome to me. That sounds like the best year ever. So we have that on our community design plan, just grounding us. Let's talk about the monthly themes. Keep things novel, keep things interesting, and ladder up to that best year ever. And there's 3 ways to think about monthly themes that I really like, and I think they'll spark some ideas. One is around mindset, one is around milestones, and one is around moments. So mindset monthly themes, which is the example and the prompt I will give you, are all about how do we choose topics that help our members let go of their limiting beliefs. This is one of the things that is the most powerful about community. It's that we can achieve so much more in community than we can individually, than we can by ourselves. And I know when I'm talking to myself, I have some limiting beliefs. And then I go talk to people I trust, people I know, people in community that help lift me out of them. So a mindset monthly theme can be really, really fantastic. Another type of monthly theme could be milestones. These are the puzzle pieces that people need to put together to ladder up to that best year ever. So for my ultra running community, it could be something like nutrition is a puzzle piece, race day anxiety is a puzzle piece, choosing the right race is a puzzle piece, all of these things that need to be true for me to really get that best year ever. And then moments. Moments is really easy, really fun. Planning your monthly themes around moments is just tapping into the cultural waves that are all around us. So it could be something like, hey, end of summer, fall, September is kind of back to school. Even if you don't have young kids or kids, it's like back to routine, change of seasons. There's just a feeling in the air. And when you use moments in your community to kind of organize monthly themes, people show up and they don't have cognitive dissonance. They're like, oh yeah, it makes sense that we're talking about this at this time here right now because of everything else that's going on in my life. Are you following me? Mindset, milestones, moments, all very fertile ground for choosing your monthly themes. And I'll give you an example specifically around mindsets. Okay, Will is into it. Great. So for mindset themes, my favorite one, you can ask the GPT, I want to create monthly themes that tackle their mindset removing their limiting beliefs, keep them moving towards their goals. Give me 12 themes, one for each month of the year. Couldn't be easier. And this is what that might look like. Remember, this is by Community for Ultra Runners. So it talks about setting your vision in January, managing race day anxiety, embracing the suck over the summer. Then we're talking about reflection in December. Everything taps into getting your mind right to go and tackle this big, ambitious goal together as a community. And I can tweak this, I can change it out, but this is what the GPT generated for me with that prompt. And anyone can join at any point during the year and contribute and kind of tap into what's going on. These don't necessarily have to build on each other, and probably shouldn't if you want people joining all year round. Okay, great. So this is what it looks like in my calendar. You can see a few things change, because another thing to remember is you don't have to have only mindset themes, only milestone themes. You can mix it up and pick a combination that works for you. Okay, more prompts. Milestones, moments, and tailoring themes to regional and local traditions. We will teach you how to do all of this. This is like if you're in the Southern Hemisphere and you're like, I don't really want to talk about hot weather stuff in July. Exactly. All right, part 2 of our community design plan, weekly calendar. And I love to spend time here because it's a very common mistake that people make that no one here is going to make because they're in this session. Sound good? Sounds good. A good weekly calendar focuses on member contributions, prizes consistency, and stays manageable. And the mistake I am talking about touches all of these things, okay? And the best way to talk about it is to illustrate it. So let's say I'm super excited, super excited to finally be launching my community. I'm ready to do it. I'm like, here's what our weekly calendar looks like. Week 1, we're gonna have Mindset Mondays. Then we're gonna have a guest speaker on Tuesday, do our book club on Wednesday, office hours. We're gonna share our wins on Friday. I'm gonna introduce the new members live on Saturday. Then week 2, you know what? I have another guest speaker, but they can only come on Monday. So no Mindset Mondays this week, guys. Guest speaker, book club's gonna move. I got a dentist appointment, got to move training. New member is gonna fall off. I'm gonna forget about it, do it Sunday. You start to realize the problem here with this setup. 1, I'm tired. I'm tired just talking about it. To actually do this as a host, I'm gonna burn myself out. It's not sustainable. I'm also not going to get credit for it because it's not sustainable or manageable for my members either. That's a lot for them to tackle, right? And what's more, let's say they come on Monday and they love Mindset Mondays. I don't have it the next week. They're likely to forget about it. What you want to do is build a habit. It is better to have one thing on your weekly calendar at the same time and day every week, even if it's just a post, than it is to have 7 days a week, 6 days a week. Exactly, Ariel. This is a lot of work and it's always moving, not what you want to do. So here's a better take on a weekly calendar. Hey guys, every Monday, 6:30 p.m., I'm going to go live. We're all going to come into this video and we're going to share our mindset for the week. How are we thinking? How are we showing up? We're just going to check in. I commit to being there every Monday. Hope to see you. Then Friday, we're going to check in on how we're doing. What was one win you had this week? If you didn't have a win, I still want you to post, and the community is here to lift you up, help you with your challenges. That's it. From where I sit, from what I have seen across thousands of communities, this is a killer weekly calendar. Does this feel doable to you? I hope so. I hope so. And here is a prompt you can use to think about what's possible. You can use the PeopleMagic GPT to get creative, to generate some ideas for the weekly calendar And here's what I like to include is make them really creative. Focus on my members doing something together versus more passive knowledge sharing, like I'm going to stand up like I'm doing now and tell you what's what, right? What can we do together? I think for my running community, it was like, let's get together and sketch out our ideal race and like really try to visualize it together, which sounds pretty fun to me. So this is what my weekly calendar looks like. Okay. More prompts. I'm going to go faster than more prompts because I really want to get to pricing and launch. So we're going to keep going. Daily polls and questions. This is the final piece of your community design plan. Okay. And here's why we love polls and questions on Mighty. They work. They absolutely work. We call this the engagement loop. Somebody asks a question, other people get notifications as other people answer and comment back and forth. More people come in and answer the question, and just this cavalcade of notifications happen that just keeps going. The data is clear to the point where when anybody ever comes to me and says, how do I kickstart engagement in my community? Polls and questions, polls and questions, polls and questions. We did this for one Mighty Pro host recently and quadrupled their engagement. Powerful. And these are the types of questions you can use. There's a single question option, kind of an open end. You can do multiple choice. You can do a sentiment question, like how do you feel about, kind of hot, cold, and then percentage. And the great thing about these questions are easy to answer with a thumb, on the go, on mobile, and they spark discussions, especially if you know how to construct and ask a great question. And if you don't know, your co-host knows. Your co-host has been taught the formula for fantastic questions. And now you get to ask your co-host. So now that you have your monthly themes, and again, I may be moving a little bit faster than your chat is going with your co-host, but that's okay. When you have your monthly themes, you say, hey, give me polls and questions I can schedule over the next 6 months. Schedule these out. These are my monthly themes. I want a mix of question types. I want 12 questions per month. And this is what the weekly calendar looks like. And if you love our community plan and decide to go up to our business plan, we've actually baked in the infinite question generator into the product. So it will just generate questions and even auto post them if you want to get fancy and automated. But on the community plan, you just plan them with the People Magic GPT and schedule them out. And this is our weekly calendar. We've planned it. We took 10, 15 minutes to do this. We're on track. And I know some of you are looking at Thursday and Saturday. You're getting nervous. Oh no, there's nothing there. What are people going to do? Here's the thing. This is not about content. This is not about creating homework and overwhelm and dropping links to articles and saying, what do you guys think? No, it is about these little sparks you're dropping to just nudge people to see each other's faces, to ask each other questions, to tell each other stories. That is what you're trying to create. And it's awesome. And this is the plan we talk to our $1 million+ hosts about. You can do it. You will do it. Henri says, loving this, so manageable if you decide a family vacation. And you should with the profits from your community. We're all going to Disneyland or whatever you want. Henri says, you have thought of everything. Fear is gone. That's the goal. That is the goal. Speaking of fear, let's talk about pricing. I saw earlier in the chat some definite fear about this. Okay. Here's how to think about your pricing. Results, replacement, respect. Okay. Think about these 3 things when you go to set your price. Results are, it's your best year ever. Your best year ever. How much is that worth to somebody? If your best year ever is about relationships, transforming a marriage, that could quite literally be priceless to somebody. A, a divorce is expensive also, if that's the case. But it really, if it's about parenting, if it's about a new job, career, you can, if not priceless, you can put a hefty price on the results somebody can get. So that's one way to think about your pricing. The other one is replacement. What could this replace in somebody's life? That could be another class, another coach, another course, a gym membership, a stack of books 10 feet high they have on their nightstand they've never read. Could be any number of things. And then finally, respect. Gina has talked about this. Other hosts we've had here have talked about this. People pay attention to what they pay for, and price can infer a level of value, and you don't want to be coming in at something that people don't value. I don't know about you. I have had moments where I've looked at my credit card statement and been like, cool, I've been playing $2 a month for a bootleg version of Wordle for like 3 years. Okay. And you know why I didn't notice? Because I didn't pay attention. And that might work for Wordle. It's not what you want for people in your community. So, what pricing level do you choose to get that respect and that you're going to put the time into it? So, we have prompts for all of these R's. But let's talk about replacement, because I think this one is really creative and can really help you think, oh my gosh, this could be worth thousands, right? Here's the big purpose. You have that context. What could this replace in someone's life? Book, activities, resources, expenses. Put a monetary value on it and give me the total. I had somebody in People Magic Prompts say, okay, whoa, that's like $150,000. Now, she didn't go out and charge $150,000, but it sure as hell gave her confidence to charge $48 a month for what she was offering in her community. Do you see how this can just change your mindset around pricing? I think it can be really powerful. I know it can be because I've seen it. Then you can ask it how to quantify results. Ask for pricing examples. You can ask it for examples around all of this stuff, but pricing especially, I think, is really helpful, and wins. We have fed it anonymized because we're not about to put your business books out on the internet, but anonymous wins from real hosts on Mighty. Hey, this health and wellness community for postpartum moms has made $4 million this year. Or this community run by a podcaster around launching businesses, they had a $500,000 launch. You will get those numbers, and I think they will just help you reframe how you think about the value to be had and made here. Perspective, Henri. Yes, exactly. How am I for time? I think I'm good. Someone I'm sure will get a big hook if I'm not. Launch. Okay. So what do we have right now? We have our foundation, our ideal member, our person in a transition who is hungry to get to that best year ever. And we have our big purpose, which is our pitch for our community. Locked and loaded. We have our community design plan, right? What we are going to do together starting today, but also we kind of have this roadmap for the year. It could change. Communities grow and change. You're going to be workshopping things, but at least as a host, you kind of are like, okay, I see where I could go. And we have our price. Okay, we have our price. How do we launch? How do we go into the world? This is the perfect thing for us to end on, because Daryl's coming up next, and he's really going to talk about how you could start from zero. But I want you to know that the People Magic GPT is in your corner. And hopefully you see how like everything builds, right? This is my ideal member. This is the best year ever we're going to have. This is our price. Here's our community design plan, our themes, and our weekly calendar. It has all the context of the awesome things you're doing. customized to you, plus the examples, the strategies that got us those examples. It's all there. So a really simple question, hey, can you just help me get over this blank page syndrome and write me 8 posts, emails, DMs I can use to launch and get my first founding members? Okay? Just having 8 things for you even to edit and say, oh, that's not right. I would never say that. I would never do that, is so much better than staring at your computer blank screen, unsure of how to start. Okay. Ariel says, pricing and launching is scary right now because I feel so unprepared. Totally. This is your brainstorm partner to just help you get over that hump. And then, of course, okay, well, actually, I want the messaging to focus on value or to focus on savings. Help me with my landing page. What should be on there? How do I talk about this? Maybe I'm doing an event on stage and I want to pitch my community. You can do all of this with the GPT. And then once you're through the challenge, or maybe during the challenge, you're going to have access to the full People Magic Prompts course as part of this offer. We talk about a magical first experience. We talk about quests, sending your members on quests. It was very hard for me not to talk about quests here because I love it. But I want you to get your first 30 members first. And then it's like, okay, how do we pour fuel on this fire? How do we send them on challenges? How do we get them to collaborate? How do we build these creative, awesome experiences? How do we run courses that are going to help them level up? So much cool stuff with Quest. And they sound epic, which are fun. And then creating an ambassador culture. Okay, so this is about launch, but it's the kind of launch and growth we all love, which is when it kind of takes care of itself. And this is so tied into People Magic because, again, you're creating that flywheel of people come in, they get results, they meet other people, they tell other people about those awesome results. More people come in. And an ambassador culture is a way of just from day one, that new member joins, they know that it's accepted and welcomed and rewarded to bring new people in. And your ideal member knows other ideal members. Birds of a feather flock together. Transition, get results together. We can adjust that. So those are all sorts of prompts you can get. Does that sound good? Like, are you excited? Even if you don't have me or Maya, our team, leading you, I think this is a really powerful tool. And just use it. Use it regularly. You're going to have your own style of conversation with it. Okay, I got one more thing, Gina, and then we can answer more questions. But I just want to.
Yeah, I thought we could answer questions together.
Perfect. On the offer, you're going to get the $199 annual community plan. You're going to get the 14-day challenge. You're going to get the books and People Magic Prompts. This course that goes through everything, goes through it in more detail with more sections. Do it at your own time. Slow it down. Take a screenshot. You're going to get that for free as well. And I just want to end with you can do this. You can do this. You have this co-host now. You have the challenge. You have a plan that you can add to, refine, push, change, workshop. You don't have a blank page anymore. You have People Magic in the software and the entire vision that Tom just talked about. And hopefully you just have the confidence and clarity to keep going. You have locked into a year of building this. Keep going. And I can say without any qualms that the team is in your corner. We got you. And that's it.
Amazing.
I'm stoked.
I will be honest, like I know about the People Magic GPT, I use it, but to have you zoom out like that and take it from the top and watch the chat has been awesome. One thing I really want to put a finer point on, and then we'll get to a couple of the logistics. One thing I will add, if you have questions about the offer, go ahead and drop that puppy into chat@mightynetworks.com so we can answer some of the meatier things in the next few minutes. Number one is hopefully you can start to see the difference between what we just showed you as a way to apply AI to introduce your people to each other, to get to set up the right framework or the right scaffolding so that you have a community that you can monetize through a membership, through a course, through a challenge, through an event. But that at its core, it's about how are you introducing members to each other? How are you creating people magic? What do you not see in here? Fake AI people.
No.
And profiles. What you don't see in here is using AI for different voices, or different characters. This is about how do you use AI to get you unstuck, so you have a co-host, and that you're utilizing that co-host to unlock your members meeting and building relationships with each other, because that is going to be the most durable business that you can create, the most sustainable, and ultimately the most valuable. Now, speaking of value, Jane, in a shocking turn of events, there have been some questions about whether or not people can charge day one when they only have 14 people, or they only have 10 people or 5 people. What have you seen in the data? What have we seen in the data?
What have we seen in the data? Shockingly, Gina and I see the same data. Yeah, look, you can have a freemium community. You can do anything you want. This is a free world. It's more work. You are like, okay, are these lurkers who just were like, oh, it's free, I'll click a link, are they really my ideal member? In fact, kind of try to reframe your ideal member, ideal paying member. Because if you're trying to serve people who aren't actually the people who ultimately are going to help you build this business, build this impact, create people magic, one, even if a couple of them up level, you're going to be distracted by the free people and not actually get those people the results they need.
Right.
And that, that may sound all strategy or philosophy, but as Gina said, in the data,
So clear in the data.
it's so clear. Paid communities with a paid front door have 50% more engagement than free or freemium. 50%. It's better to have 14 people in a paid membership than 60, 100 in free. I feel very strongly about this, and we've seen it.
Yeah. And here's what I would also say. It is always easier if you lower a price later than raise a price later. Mm-hmm. So you are better off at a price point that you feel uncomfortable with. Because again, it's not about you. It's not about the quality of your content. It is about the work that you are doing. I'm going to talk about work in a second. The work that you are doing to bring people who are on the same path together. Because that is the thing that is missing in this moment. The most valuable thing is not more content. AI, you're just, if you step out of the People Magic GPT into just straight up Chat GPT or Claude or any of these other models, content is a dime a dozen. Mm-hmm. The value that you are providing is in bringing members together and creating a culture that they can actually meet each other and that it's fun. And what Jane just showed you is the step by step way of doing that, such that you can charge from day one when you've never done it before. So the reason we go into such detail related to how to price, it is about the results that your members are going to get. It is about what they are already paying for today or the replacement. And finally, the respect. You will not get more people to join you at a lower price. That worked. And somebody's going to disagree with me. I think Jarvis is, you're in there. It's totally fine. I will die on the, I will die on this hill because I've seen it over and over again. What you tell yourself, there are two messages we tend to tell ourselves when we're starting something new. Number one is that if I just work really, 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 really hard, then people will see the value and then I'll get a reward. Then they'll pay more money. Then they'll pay me. We talk about it here at Mighty as if you're not careful, you actually get paid in thank yous. Now, there is value in thank yous, no question. But thank yous don't pay your rent. Thank yous don't give you energy. Thank yous don't let you invest more money in making your community available to more and more people. And so just this is not fast and loose, like whatever you do, don't charge, or whatever you do charge.
Yeah.
It's use these formulas because they're based in reality and they're based in data. Okay. So the first thing is, don't just underprice yourself or price yourself for free because you're afraid and you're like, I'm just going to work harder than anybody else and I'm going to make it perfect. And then if it's perfect and I worked really hard, then someone will pay me. That's not how this works, because the second piece of this, and this is so important, people are not paying you for you. They are not paying you for how hard you're working or the content that you're creating or the look and feel of your network. They are paying you to introduce them to people and help them achieve their results, their transformation. They are paying you so that they are saying, yes, this is important to me. I'm going to invest not just my money, but my time, my effort, my relationships to bring more people in, my vulnerability to build and create new relationships. So number one, it's not about your hard work. It is about your members' results and transformation. And with that simple flip, you all of a sudden now can start to get out of, well, it's not good yet. Or by the way, if I only have 10 people or 30 people, that's called paying for exclusivity. That's exclusivity. That is a small group coaching. That is a mastermind. You should be charging more money when you're starting off because you're going to be putting in more effort because you want it to be great and you want those people to become testimonials. So when in doubt, start at a higher price, not a lower price. And I know there is a lot of momentum in how we see ourselves, especially where that start for free, then add. We've even heard that from, folks yesterday. I fundamentally disagree with it, and I've got the data to back me up.
I would add to that. First of all, I loved it.
Little, as my husband would like to call it, thank you for that guest lecture.
It was perfect.
We appreciated you coming to our class today.
Well, there were two things in the chat that I think tie in perfectly. And one was, well, hold up. What about Hadar, Jefferson? Like, they started with content, and we are not here to fear monger. That is not the point of this, but the times they are a changing. And I just, in a world with AI and the flood of content, in 6 months, you're going to want to have people magic. It is going to be the difference maker. And the next people we have up for the summit may have a very different story to tell. Maybe you're in here in the chat starting from zero today. Yeah. So just keep that in mind. And the other thing about, well, do I just start with my founding members and give them a crazy discount or a fast mover bonus? Don't give them a discount. Just add more value, which they're already getting by being one of the first people on this journey to you. Like, give them a special space. Hey, we're in this chat together because you said yes right away. Add value like we're doing with custom fields. Don't discount it.
Yeah. And I see a couple things. So Jennifer B was asking, is it possible to share the data behind that statement? Yes. So Average price of a Mighty network, $48 a month. As people add more and more programs, because again, if somebody comes in and is paying $48 a month or $576 a year, there might also be in a position where they as they get to that next level, that next transition, they're going to pay or buy more. And so that typically on our higher level plans, that average price becomes $97 a month that people are paying. Second, the most engaged and the highest conversion rates are on what we call paid networks, which also sounds a lot like what you would expect it to be, which is a paid network. So a paywall to the front door. So there's no free community and then paid programs. So it's you might have lead magnets like a PDF or a free email course or a virtual summit like this one, which is one of the reasons why, if you want to go back and watch Tom's replay, when we send out the replay later, you'll see Mighty Funnels. That's the whole point of Mighty Funnels. So you have a Mighty Funnel, and then you charge for that front door. So paid actually leads to higher engagement, higher conversion, more value, and higher retention. Then you can add more paid programs into that paid network. Again, that you're monetizing through a membership or courses or one-time events. That is working really well. Now, that's not to say that we don't have a ton of freemium communities on Mighty, because honestly, sometimes it's fantastic and it works for people. And other times people are basically like, Gina, love you, but don't believe you. So I'm going to go off and I'm going to do it the way that I think feels right to me, which is I'm going to create a free community. I'm going to do a bunch of work on it, and then I'll launch paid programs. Totally fine. We're here for you. We support you.
Another data
But
point.
If you're going to ask us the question of what to do, we are going to emphatically share the data we see, which is better results come from charging, and charging more than you are probably comfortable with up front.
And I will add to that, because we talk to a lot of hosts, whether they're Mighty Pro or starting on the community plan. And I don't think anybody here who talks to hosts would argue with this. One of the number one questions we get, how do I move from free to paid? Because they get on the journey and they realize, and we never say, I told you so. We're very nice and we help them, but it's a very common question. How do I, even at people who you would think would have no fear, they have fear.
Yeah. CARE has this great, early members get the deep benefit of helping shape the community that they will both get value from and feel deep pride and ownership in. Yes. That's, by the way, CARE, you said that better than I did. So Sandra, free doesn't work for me. All my members didn't value it enough to use the platform. This is what we see over and over and over again. And by the way, the reason we went down this path was really early on. What we were finding, that the people that were coming to Mighty, they would show up at our sessions like this, crying from just being overwhelmed, crying from, oh my gosh, I feel like I've been putting out, so much into my free Facebook group for years, and I'm exhausted. And people don't value what I've been contributing. And worse, it's even gotten toxic, where people are actually mad at me. Melissa Urban yesterday said, she's like, when you go to charge, if you've been giving things away for free for a long time, there's always someone who is mad at you. Well, there's no reason for that. You don't need that. You are creating value when you are creating relationships between people. And more importantly, if you need a backup, if you need someone to have your back, not only do we have your back, but People Magic GPT is going to have your back, because you know what it's trained on? It's trained on this. It's trained on the data. It's trained on the price points. It's trained on me saying this over and over again based on the data. And so you know what it's going to do? It's going to be like, hey, Jennifer B, I know you're feeling a little nervous right now. Got you covered. In fact, actually, we're going to put this session into it. And so we're going to say, hey, dudes, it's cool. Like, you can do this. And you can always offer a free trial. You can always offer a lower price. But again, add more stuff. It works better. I love this. Pam, in my 20 years of experience in the fitness industry, free attracts a very fickle client. Yeah. I learned not to project my financial situation onto others. Just because $1,000 was a lot to me doesn't mean that it was a lot to someone else. Oh, that is such a fantastic, fantastic point. So it's there to help you. If you get nervous, go talk to it. Go talk to, like, come to us. But it's also why we have the 14-day free trial. 14, we were just talking about free trials. The 14-day challenge. It is there. It is there.
Yeah.
Okay. What am I missing in the chat?
I think people are generally agreeing with you. We got some specific questions. Well, should I do this? Is that okay? Bring them to the challenge. I will say everything is okay, right? Like, the point is you're going to try things and some are going to work and some aren't. We are giving you what we have seen work the best, the most number of times, and we will be with you on your journey.
Yeah. And Chris, at this point, I'm wondering if I should shut down my free community. My paid one is where all the action is. Yeah.
Yeah. It's time.
Yeah. Okay. Marie, you are starting to make me possibly consider shutting down my free area. Keep talking. Oh, Marie, you just go talk to People Magic GPT. It's got all of this and more.
You're on a journey.
John, what's the data on free trials? They're great. Use them. Totally, totally fantastic. What we are talking about is not free trials. We are talking about a freemium model where you're trying to invest in both a free community and a paid membership or a paid course at the same time. You are so, and it's, by the way, one of the reasons we're modeling right now why adding more things and starting with, we are charging for the community plan at $199. So we're discounting it. And there's a reason why we're discounting it. We're not discounting anything else, but we want to make this moment for someone who is starting from scratch and might be on the fence an absolute no-brainer. We're not discounting it because we're nervous. We're not discounting it because, it's new. It's not new. We're taking something actually that is proven, that, by the way, we proved it out at nearly $500 a year. And then the thing we've learned is when you're starting a business, when you're thinking about what platform you want to use and what strategy you believe in, you're actually not looking for price discounts. You're looking for phenomenal answers and you're looking for additional value. And so one of the things we've really unlocked, and something for you all to think about as well, by the way, there are some fantastic questions for People Magic GPT that are happening in the chat right now. So one of the things that we've really found is that when we offer value in one plan that normally only exists on a plan above it. So for example, custom fields are normally not on the community plan. For this offer, we added them. We added 5. So it's an example of something for you to think about when you get nervous about, oh my gosh, I'm doing this for the first time. Can I really charge $48 a month? So think about the additional value that you can add, as opposed to, I have to give this away for free and I just have to work really, 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 really hard. And then maybe somebody will pay me in the future.
Yeah.
That doesn't work that well. And you're going to get tired faster. And the worst thing is you're probably going to resent what you're building. And you don't want to do that. It's not fun.
Yeah.
Okay. So go talk to That was a preview of the kinds of things that People Magic GPT, on which this is trained, will tell you.
Yeah.
How long will we have access to the 199 after the summit? Oh, Vanessa.
I'm happy to take that one.
Oh, Vanessa.
It's $199 for your first year on the software, but you're going to get the goodies. First of all, you renew after a year, you're still going to get those 5 custom fields. That's yours for as long as you stay on the plan. The challenge, the People Magic prompts, we'll make sure you can refer back to all that stuff even as you get farther and farther away from this summit.
All right. So that is what we are doing. Now, we've got another session coming.
A good one.
A real good one. So how many people are like, oh my gosh, where am I going to find? So if we all agree that you're going to find your first 30 members amongst the people that you know, you're not going to try to go build a 2 million person social media following in the next, 2 weeks. You're not going to necessarily like run a bunch of ads because that probably doesn't make sense. How do you think about getting your 31st member? How do you think about getting your 50th member? How many people are curious about that and thinking about, okay, how do I go from 30 to 1,000? Anybody? We got
lots of people in the chat already. They were interested.
Got some folks in the chat on this.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody. Is everybody hitting the lull post lunch? I don't know what's happening here. So anyways, so in our next session that will happen at 11:45 Pacific, is that 2:45 Eastern? Daryl Westerfeld is going to be here to talk about how to grow faster, how to grow members, how to grow revenue. And Ebony, I don't know a lot of people. This session with Daryl coming up here shortly is going to be fantastic. So with that, we'll take a quick break. Be back here in a few minutes for Daryl, and then we'll bring today home. All right.
Bye,
see everybody in a bit.